Have you ever made a vision board? And whether you have or haven't, have you ever wondered why or maybe how gluing words and images, pictures of any kind onto a board is something that can result in making significant changes in your life? So I say a board because that is the traditional way, but I will also be talking about different types and ways that you can make vision boards as well, which will cover a lot or many of the objections that I have that I have received or that I have heard over the time. We did a vision pillowcase. Oh my gosh, that sounds fabulous. I would love to hear more about that. And for those of you listening on the podcast, that's one of the comments. One of the live viewers made a vision pillowcase. I love that because it connects with dreams and dreaming and visions. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. That is, see, it's never ending, the possibilities. So what if I told you, or what if I said, it's because the reason that you can make and achieve all these changes is because the vision board becomes a roadmap to your dreams for your brain to follow. And there's a couple different ways that I'll talk about that as well. And today, the primary focuses or the talking points that I have for today's podcast is why I love vision boards so much, and some ways that I use them, because there is more than one way that I incorporate and use them, and a little bit about the results that I have achieved as well, because that, is fun to hear, from other people or their experiences and what has actually happened and how, because that's where, all that, the magical components all work together to happen. So if you are someone who is not familiar with a vision board, I am going to start there. Because like I said, this is the first podcast episode that I'm addressing vision boards here, and there will be more down the road. But I'm going to start with that, with what is a vision board? And like I said just a couple minutes ago, that the traditional version of a vision board is where you get a poster board or some type of cardboard, thicker type cardstock or paper or something, even a bulletin board or something that traditionally goes up on the wall. And you cut out images from magazines or any, paper type of photos that you've taken, photos you come across. But most of the time it was pictures or images from magazines as well as words. And you would glue them or tape them or attach them to the board in a collage type of setting, right? Where you kind of put your pictures on there. Sometimes there would be themes or a specific focus, but that's the premise. You cut out words, images, and you attach them to a poster board or cardstock of some kind and have it up on your wall or visible somewhere. So that is a vision board. And I'm going to look here because I don't want to jump ahead. Yes, I have types later on. So that's what it is. It is a place to hold or to keep pictures of things that you want to experience in your life, things that you want to have or purchase or get, things that you want to do, like vacations. Also, the type of person that you want to become. There is really also no limit to what can be contained in a vision board. Your dreams, your desires, your wishes, however you choose to phrase them or what you're working with. It's basically a holding place to have a visual, that's key, visual representation of things that you desire. That's the very general, broad scope of that. My personal experience with vision boards started out with something fun to do. I wasn't too much into or hadn't really gotten into learning about the manifestation aspect of it, but it was something fun something creative. It was attending like a vision board party or something along those lines. And that did, attract me because I like the creativity. I like the arts and crafts part of it. And I was like, what is this vision board aspect of it? So I went and experienced a workshop and it was great. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really have so much of a results from that one because also I said I wasn't really into the manifesting aspect of it, and the workshop that I attended, at least the parts that I remember, right? Because maybe there was stuff being talked about manifesting, but I wasn't tuned into that yet. I wasn't experiencing or living in that season of my life yet. So maybe they did talk about it, but I remember mostly of the creating process. That was fun. It was social. It was interactive. It was a creative outlet. So that is my recollection of my very first vision board experience. That's not to say it's bad, because obviously I'm still working with and using them, but that's how I started. It wasn't like the very first time I made a vision board, I had like these amazing results. I honestly couldn't tell you what was on that vision board. And I don't know where it ended up, how it ended up not being something that I have anymore. So that's where I started. It's not like it was like, boom, right off the bat, but it was fun. And I do remember that part of it, that it was a fun experience. And that is also key, right? That's one of the components. So my personal experience, the biggest one, and this is going to be a little bit of a teaser, but I do want to include it in here, but there's more coming later. The key connection to vision boards has to do with my business. There is a direct connection to vision boards and the name of my business, Blue Moon Manifestations, and of course the moon, hence the name. And the reason I'm not going to get into detail right now is because later on this year in August, so if you're listening to this in the future, down the line, like a different year, but after August of 2023, I'm recording this on June 22nd. 2023, and in August of 2023 we will be having a blue moon, and it is on a Wednesday, which is the standard day, the normal day for my podcast. It was shifted last week and this week, but it's on a Wednesday in August. So that's what that episode will be all about. And if you are listening to this in the future after August 2023, you can jump ahead to that episode if you like and hear all the information and the story right after finishing this one. If not, then you have to wait until we get to the blue moon of August of 2023. So that is the primary connection. Results briefly that I have experienced from vision boards that are actual tangible results. I have become a published author, which is something that I had on my vision board. And that occurred at a time that I was not actively pursuing that, but it was something that was in my desires bucket. Or if you're familiar with Abraham Hicks, they talk about the vortex, where all your desires are kind of kept in there and put in there every time you have a desire. So if you're familiar with that concept, or just in your dreams bucket, however it feels good, like just putting it in there for safekeeping, even if you're not consciously thinking about it or aware of it all of the time. So I had that, becoming a published author, on my vision board. And when it did happen for me, I was not actively pursuing it. It was the opportunity that came about. And the reason that it came about, at least this is how I see it and how I teach and work with vision boards, is by becoming the person, continuing to make myself the focus, improving myself, raising my vibration, putting out, sending out those energetic vibes that attract things that match up with them. And so I was in a place in that moment that, even though I was not actively pursuing, that's not something I was working on, because it had been in my desires bucket, and I had done the work and was in a place that vibration matched the opportunity. It attracted the opportunity to me, and I was able to get that done. It did stretch me a bit because, like I said, it's not, nothing is just like boom right off the bat, or boom just without having to do any work or take any action. So it did stretch me. I took advantage of the opportunity. And with that being said, I want to throw in here that if I had not taken advantage of that opportunity, like if I had chosen to skip it or just not do it at that time, that's not to say that it would never come up for me again. This is the thing about putting out, constantly becoming and being the next best version of yourself. Always making yourself the focus. You will continue to attract those opportunities in different cycles, in different time frames, in different seasons. So if there's something that you're thinking to yourself about because like, oh, she had this opportunity, even though she wasn't working on it and she took advantage of it. If you're saying to yourself, well, I had an opportunity, but I didn't take advantage of it. That's okay. Anything that you desire and anything that is meant for you will not pass you by. It may come at a different time. If you say no or pass on an opportunity or don't realize the opportunity, that's okay. It is still yours. It is still there for you, just at a different time. So please don't feel bad if you catch yourself in that way of thinking. Like, oh, I had the opportunity, but I didn't. So now that's gone. It's something I have to write off. Absolutely not. If it is a genuine and true desire of yours, it is for you and it will present itself again. So know that is something that I, for myself, know to be true and I firmly believe. So I will continuously and always say that to you guys as well. So I became a published author. I have now location independence where I can work from anywhere as long as I do have some type of internet connection to be doing this type of thing. But with the mobility and the ease of access with technology and being location independent, I have manifested that. And when I put it on my vision board, being able to work from anywhere was how I phrased it. I was not in control of my own scheduling. I felt like I was only living my life on the weekends and I had nothing that I really enjoyed during the week. I had no control over my time because other people were scheduling my time. And so all of that shifted, but I still put that on my vision board, even though I was in a space that it felt almost not possible, or at least very far away. So that's another point that I will make for you, that I just saw that. I think the internet, I don't know if it's your internet or mine, but I will keep going because StreamYard's going to keep recording it, but that it will come back around to my brain too. So the becoming the person attracts the opportunities and it won't pass you by. And if I was saying something else, it will come back to me as well. I have manifested opportunities to collaborate with people, opportunities to present and speak. And these are all things that were on my vision board. That's what I was talking about. See how it works? It didn't feel possible at the time, but I still put it on my vision board. And I would like you to keep that in mind, that even if you don't know how it's going to happen, even if you can't see the steps, even if it's a desire you have, but it just feels impossible and very far away, please include it, or please don't dismiss it. Maybe that's a better place to start. Don't dismiss it because you have that desire for a reason, or it's calling you for a reason, or you're attracted to it for a reason. And so don't dismiss it. Jot it down, fold the page over, in the book or the magazine or in your journal or whatever, but keep it. Even if it feels very far away and hard, don't dismiss it and don't give up on it. I have developed a spiritual practice. And that might seem something that's kind of weird, saying, well, you manifested that. Yes, I did, because I was previously in a place where I knew all these things. Like I knew that there was, you know, a higher power, that I knew that, you know, believed in like the universe and God and all these things, but I didn't have a unique and personalized relationship and connection with that. It was more cerebral in my head as opposed to actually experiencing it and feeling it and believing it. And now I have that. And that is actually something that I put on my vision board, having a spiritual practice, and many different ways that that can look. So there is no, I should say, limitations or things that cannot be included on a vision board if they are a desire that you have or even something you're curious about. Because just by putting it on your vision board, whether you're not sure, it's like, I'm kind of curious about that, include it. Or again, hold on to it, because maybe even if that's not the exact thing that you end up manifesting, or if that's not the exact thing that is your ultimate desire, it could be the thing that leads you to it. So keeping that curiosity and that open-mindedness available and being cognizant of that, it's like, okay, let me try, or let me include it on there and see how I feel about it. See what happens. See if anything happens. Maybe I'll simply just have a new idea by including this on there and looking at it from time to time, or regularly, more ideally, and it might spark another idea, or someone else might see it and bring something up to your attention. So don't dismiss those things that seem random or like they might not be quite the thing, because they might be the thing that leads you to the thing, right? So let's see. So that's some things that I have manifested or experienced as a result of including them or having them on a vision board in some shape or form. And so now let's see, understanding vision boards a little bit, because this could be probably a whole episode just on that, on each of these topics. And so the purpose, let's start with that. What is the purpose of making or having and working with a vision board? The purpose is it gives your brain visual images. Your brain, our brains, not just yours, all of our human brains like visual images, visual representations of things. They tend to, and this could be maybe my personal experience, but at least on some level for everyone, maybe I guess I can't say that one as a blanket statement, but the visual images seem to help evoke the feelings much more quickly, or it can really tap into the feelings with the visual image of something, whether it's an actual picture like that you can hold or see with your eyes, or if it's a visual that you have in your brain when you're visualizing. The visual practice, the visual exercise or activity really taps into and can connect with the emotions. And emotions and feelings are such a key and important piece of manifesting. So by having a visual representation of your dreams on a vision board, it keeps them, one, top of mind. It keeps you looking at them. And even if you're not actively pursuing it, like I wasn't pursuing writing in that moment, it will maybe make you aware of an opportunity when it does come up, or it will help you, having a visual representation will help you maybe do a visualization practice where you can see yourself in the picture or walking into the picture and experience what's going on. Or it can be a starting point for a journal prompt, and you can write a story about experiencing and what it feels like to be experiencing your dream based on what is on your vision board. It's a holding place. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a holding place for your dreams. And the reason I say this is because a lot of times I think we fall into, if I'm not thinking about it all the time, or if I don't keep it top of like my actual brain, if I don't constantly revisit it and, and keep doing something, then I'm going to forget about it. And the thing is, you won't forget about it. Your inner vortex, your inner being, your soul, your spirit, your intuition is not going to forget about your desires. It will also, those things will also hold on to them for you. But as humans with a human thinking brain, a lot of times we think that I won't remember them if I'm not constantly thinking about them. So a vision board or a manifestation journal or anything along those lines can be a holding place, so you don't worry about that so much. And you don't worry like, oh, I don't want to forget about it because I don't want to not manifest it. Nope. But if you're worried about that, keep them in a journal, just the pictures. Keep a, what if vision board or wishes vision board that you're not actively working on possibly, or just keep pictures in a folder. Hold on to the picture. That is at least holding that space where it lets your brain relax a little bit and be like, okay, so even if I don't think of it, or if I don't remember in a year from now or 6 months from now what that dream was, I can go back to the pictures or to my notebook or whatever and be reminded of it. So it helps gives them a holding place, gives your dreams a holding place so you don't worry about forgetting about them. It reminds you of them. So, it keeps them, that visual input coming to your eyes and into your brain. It also, the purpose of vision boards, I don't know if this is actually a purpose, but a way of working with them, so I guess it can be purpose, is that you can have, I do anyway, have multiple types of vision boards. It's not just one kind. It's not just one single vision board. I have multiple vision boards going at one time, at any given time. And so you can make them about different themes. Think like travel or work or home, family life, relationships. You can have them for different themes, different topics. You can have different types of vision boards. And this is something that I speak to when people say, well, I'm a perfectionist. I don't like things kind of hodgepodge, or I like things to look a certain way. And what if I don't find just the right picture in a magazine and I don't like the way it looks when it's done and it's not just perfect? It doesn't need to be perfect, but I know many people who have that way of being, right? That it has to be perfect, or I have to like the way it looks. And so for that, I recommend digital vision boards or virtual ones where you can find exact pictures. You can make them look a curated way, like where they follow a color scheme, or you can lay them out in different formats, in different shapes. That perfectionist side of you that is keeping you possibly from making a vision board or even attempting to have one or work with it, there is a solution for you. You can make it digital, where if you want to change something, it's not going to rip anything. You can move things around without damaging anything, and you can make it look exactly like you want it to look. And so that's the beauty also of technology. There are, sometimes it's a drag and sometimes there's some negatives, but that's one of the positives, the way I see it. You can make a digital vision board. This is also handy if, like my circumstances now, you don't have a lot of extra wall space. You can still have multiple vision boards because you can keep them on your computer. You can keep them in an art journal or in a notebook, or in a planner, or in a bullet journal, or anything else at all, memory keeping notebook, whatever it is. You don't need to only have one kind. And for me, I personally like variety, and I like having different things where it's not just one always the same way. So I'm always looking for ideas and trying new ways. And like at the beginning, that was mentioned, a vision pillowcase. I am all about these fabulous ideas. So the purpose is, I guess, that there are multiple ways of working with it. And it's not, you don't exclude yourself from having or working with a vision board. And there are many different formats as well, where you can use words, you can use pictures, you can use a combination. You can, if you do a, you can have one like on Pinterest. You can have a Pinterest vision board and have different boards for each type of topic. You could have Canva, like I said. So the possibilities are endless. And the thing that now I'm moving into, so we have the purpose and we've talked about what a vision board is and things that I've experienced. And all of this is really tying into manifesting or manifestation. And so with that comes up the topic of law of attraction. And if you haven't heard of the law of attraction, basically the very simple premise is like attracts like. You know, like magnets, you know, when they want to come pull close together. So like attracts like. And so the like that you are providing, the like that is attracting, that, you know, that you are putting out, that is attracting other things, is your energy, your vibration, the way that you feel. Because if you constantly feel down in the dumps, or if you're constantly thinking or believing that things never go your way, that life is hard, that I can't keep money, that I don't ever have enough to do the things that I like, those are not very good feeling thoughts. But continuously living in that energy, you are going to attract things that support that are attracted to that, because like attracts like. So you will attract more challenging situations. You will attract things that support your belief that you can't keep money. You will attract circumstances that support and that line up with that things are always going well for other people instead of for you. So the thing that you're putting out as an attraction is your energy. And everything has an energy. Everything has a vibration. And so they're out there. Think of them like these little things, you know, energy particles. I'm not scientific, floating around, and they're looking for other things that match them to attract and to go, you know, manifest into physical form. And so by working on yourself and how you feel, how you desire to feel, those are the things that you will attract, that support those types of feelings, that give you evidence. Like, you know, things are always going my way. I love life. I think, you know, whatever, you know, I'm peachy keen and I deserve all these things. You will start to attract things. So that's the very basic general sense of the law of attraction. And manifesting, the way that I describe what manifesting is taking something from inside your brain, like your imagination, your desires, your beliefs, your wishes, and having them become reality. So where you're experiencing them, you're touching them, you're seeing them in the physical form. So you can think of what's going on inside your brain, like your imagination, like your internal movie screen, all the things that are inside your brain, ideas. And so they manifest when they become reality. And everything that you can see, that you can touch, has started out in someone's imagination, right? Your computer, your phone, the desk, your couch, everything started as a concept. It started as an idea, as a wish, as a possibility. There's so many different words that I could use. And then they went through the process. Each one had its own different process of becoming reality. That's what manifesting is. Taking an idea or something that is intangible, but you can see it in your brain, in your imagination, and having it, experiencing it, seeing it, touching it in the physical sense. So that is taking it from your brain to outside of your brain to the physical sense. And so feelings are the things that attract. So if you're feeling good, you're going to attract people, opportunities, experiences that support you feeling good. If you are someone who has developed and maintains, for the most part, because we're human and we're never going to maintain a perfect, up in the stratosphere heights vibration all the time, but that's okay as long as we maintain it most of the time and get back to it as soon as we can. Those are the types of things that you will be attracting. You will be attracting things that support those feelings, that support those beliefs, and that support the desires because you're so excited or happy, or just you have generally as positive an outlook and an experience as you can. And positive does not mean jumping up and down like a cheerleader, which I was in high school. It does not, that's not what it means. It means knowing that there's good times after the bad times. It means knowing and believing and having faith that the challenges and that the hardships are working for your best interest. They are serving a purpose to move you better, move you to a better place, to expand you so that you can receive more. That's what I like to think of positivity as. It's not just, yay, yay, happy go lucky, rah, rah, life is great. It's like, you know what? Things suck right now, but it's going to be better. It's temporary. That's positive. That is genuine and authentic positivity if you truly are at a place where you can believe that. And if you can't believe that, you'd be like, it sucks right now, but I want and am willing to believe that it's going to get better. I can see that this is not going to last forever. That is positivity. That is the type of thing that keeps you moving up the energetic and the emotional rung, and how when you slide down, you can get back up it again because it's authentic. It's sustainable. It's realistic, where you don't have to think, you can let go of the belief that I have to be high vibe all the time. You have to be as good as you can. And if you're having a moment that you're having a hard day, or you fall off the bandwagon of taking action or habits or whatever, and you beat yourself up for a little bit, okay, so you slid down the rung a little bit. Don't beat yourself up for it. Just get back up. And developing that as your default, as your center, is how you start to attract these things seemingly by magic, because you're focusing on your energy and how you feel. And a vision board can help with that because it helps you tap into those feelings. It keeps the visuals top of mind, or at least sort of top of mind on a semi-regular basis. And you can use words or images. And I always talk and teach in doing vision boards to look for images, look for words, look for whatever, a petal of a flower that evoke the feelings that you desire, that evoke things that make you feel good. And let go of, oh, I have to find a picture of the exact house that I want with the same color on the right street on a corner lot with this house as a neighbor. That just gets to be too hectic. Look for images and allow images that speak to your feelings to be what you include on your vision board, or that you consider putting on your vision board, and words that really support those feelings as well. So letting go of the specific details, even if you're a specific manifester, which is another topic we will cover, the types of manifestors and manifesting. It's okay to not find the exact house or the exact car with the right inside color or interior colors and all these things. Look for the pictures and words and images that evoke the feeling. It's like, if you want a house on the beach because you want to feel calm and serene and whatever else, look for pictures, even if the house is in the mountains in the photo, but it has a serene feeling to it. It has a serene atmosphere. That's what you're going after. That's what you include on your vision board, and let go of the details. Let's see. It provides a vision board, and this is something that I don't remember really learning so much. It's something that I developed as a realization from, working on myself and doing vision boards as much as I do, that a vision board can be a roadmap for your brain to achieving your desires. And this is where having different types of vision boards and with different themes can come into play, because I like to have vision boards that also include the challenges, not that make me feel bad, not the things that make me feel bad. But for example, if you are someone who is including on your vision board that you want to eat healthier, and the desire, the feeling that you're after is strength or health or energy, whatever, but it's tied to your health. And you know, because you know yourself better than anyone else does, what are the things that get in your way? What has historically derailed you? So if it's food, or if it's being with other people that are partaking in the things that you can't, whatever it is that has derailed you, or that you know can tend to shake your confidence, shake your commitment, shake your belief that it's possible, knowing what those are and including them on your vision board with very, along with, not just by themselves, not just the challenges, but how you can overcome them. And if you don't know how you can overcome them, the thing that you put on the other side of that is the feeling of being healthy, the feeling of being strong. Again, you sandwich that thing that can hold you up. You sandwich that with your desire. This might hold me up, but this is what I'm after. And that helps your brain see and realize that having and experiencing a challenging moment or a setback is not a failure where you have to give up, where you have to start over. It's just get back. Get back. You don't have to go all the way back to step one. Just pick up on step 4 or 5 or 10 or wherever it is that you fell off. But seeing that, if you're someone that just, that's like, oh, I get all excited, and then as soon as something challenging comes up, it just deflates your inspiration or your motivation or whatever it is, then including these challenges on your vision board helps your brain to see like, oh, it's part of the process. And I know that things will challenge me. I know that my motivation will dip. I know that I've typically fallen off of the bandwagon or just derailed here. What can I do instead? What is an action step? Is it reaching out for support? Is it having accountability? Is it, giving yourself grace? But if you have an action plan or a game plan of how to get around, past, under, over, through, whatever these challenges, then you're ready for them. And when they happen, you're like, okay, it's a challenge. I fell off. I skipped a day. I didn't do it. But what's my game plan? What is my thing to get me back? What do I have on my vision board? What action steps? What exercises? What activities? What am I going to do to get past this? Because to get the results that you haven't yet gotten, you have to become a different person, which means doing things differently than you have before. And if before you didn't have a game plan for how you're going to get past these challenges, this is something new for you. And it will take some practice, and it will take some getting used to. And it will take a little bit of like, oh man, I did it again. And then you catch yourself and you say, but now I have something that I can go do. I have someone I can call for support. I have a game plan. I have things in my toolbox that I can use to get back on track. And so that provides a roadmap for your brain in knowing ahead of time that you're going to face challenges. How much relief, how much pressure does that take off by knowing ahead of time and knowing and saying that it's okay? And then the last topic or thing that I'm going to talk about is vision boards are, at least for me, a very creative outlet. And I have realized that I need to have a creative outlet. It doesn't have to be fancy, but having and incorporating creativity on a regular basis actually inspires new ideas. It may be connected to the vision board. It will also inspire action steps that you hadn't thought of before. By looking and doing the visualizing and feeling good, your inner self, your higher self, your inner being, your soul, your intuition will send you messages to move you in that direction. And so the creativity is very important because it's not all about doing, going all of the time. We need that downtime to rest and regenerate. I am listening to a book currently called The 5 a.m. Club, and I will be sharing more about the book when I finish it. I have about, I think, 3 chapters left. And they reference in the book, references like when you exercise and when you fatigue your muscles, you stretch them past their normal or usual limits, they tear a little bit, right? The muscle tissue tears a little bit, and the growth happens in the downtime when they're regenerating, when you're resting. And so that same concept applies. Your creative time, the creativity that you allow yourself and make a priority, is the downtime. It lets your brain, rest a little bit from all the doing and all the action steps and all the, focusing on things. And it just gives it some time off where it's not doing, thinking. It's actually focused on cutting the picture out and finding a picture that feels good, or journaling, or being creative in some other way, and ideas will start to float up. So the creativity that you allow yourself in creating a vision board and continuing to work with it is also the very thing that can inspire the next action step that you're not aware of yet, or can inspire the next idea of what you might want to pursue or how you might want to go about doing it. So the creative outlet inspires new ideas. It's also fun. So if you can get together, or if you get together occasionally with groups, virtual or in person, or however you do it, to have, these types of creative activities or vision board get-togethers, then it amplifies the fun because you're around other people who are also experiencing the same thing. And so it can inspire next action steps, new ideas, future dreams, all these things from allowing yourself to just have fun and be creative. And maybe you find other ways to be creative, but the result is still the same. So that's what I have for you on this initial vision board episode here on the podcast. I will be doing more, like I said, and in August, we're going to have the blue moon in August of 2023. So I will be talking about vision boards and how they are connected to my business. But now in current time, on June 24th, in just a couple days from when I'm recording this, I will be having a vision board workshop in the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group. It is a free Facebook group. So if you're not in there yet, I invite you to head on over there. You will find the link to it somewhere in the description or in the comments or wherever you are watching or listening to this, show notes, etc. By the time the podcast is posted on the podcast platforms. And it is going to be the theme of this vision board we will be creating is the Who I Am vision board. I chose this theme because as of yesterday, we had the summer solstice yesterday. It was the first day of summer yesterday. And so that is inviting your inner sun, your inner self to shine out and show up this summer as the you who has your dreams. And the who I am, and I made it a statement as opposed to a question, because I could have named it the who am I, but that is a question. Whereas who I am is authoritative. It is stating something. And I have some very specific exercises and questions and prompts that I will also be including in this workshop. It is a free workshop that is kicking off having a monthly free class or free workshop in the group. So if you're listening to this after the vision board workshop has passed, and each of the free ones every month will stay up for about 10 days, so they won't be indefinitely up there. if you're listening to this in the future, there's a workshop happening every month. And so with that being said, head over to the group, see what's there. And there are some resources of prior classes that I did in the group for essential oils. And I do the new moon and full moon lives in the group every month. So there's lots going on. Just this monthly free workshop is a new thing I am implementing. And so the first one is kicking off the summer season with the Who I Am Vision Board workshop. Let's see, what did I write down? I have specific questions to walk you through. Oh, and a chakra or energy centers exercise where you ask yourself specific questions for things that are on your vision board and create specific statements connected to the images and the dreams on your Who I Am vision board. And your energy centers are really how you can also tap into those feelings of experiencing your dreams and desires. So head over to the Moon Manifesting Rockstars Facebook group. And if you think you know someone who you think will enjoy that type of information and environment as well, we are all, a pretty cool group of people in there who are at various experience and knowledge levels about manifesting. I put a lot of musical themed content in there because that is something that I found was very core to me. So like today, for example, there's a post in there as to what is your theme song. And so I have different things going on in there, and it's only going to start getting better. I have a clearer vision, speaking of vision boards, of the group and the things that I want to have happen in there. But I didn't get that clarity by just wishing for it. I tried different things. I followed my intuition. I tried, asking questions and things along those lines. So it's an evolving space, but as I have a really good, clearer vision for the group, and monthly free classes or workshops or challenges is something that felt and feels really good to me. And so that's what I'm doing. So I invite you to go head over there whenever you happen to be listening to this. And if there's a topic you would like me to cover on the podcast, or even a workshop or class that you would like me to have in the group, let me know. If you're watching this on Facebook or YouTube, you can comment. If you are listening to this on any podcast platform, send me an email. And the email to reach me is vision, VISION, at bluemoonmanifestations.com. And I would love to hear what you would like to learn about and experiences that you would like to have. So that's what I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you next week. Bye, guys. Take care.